Hey, my legion, how y'all doing today? Now, this does not mean loser. It's just a little signal thing. For a movie review called Life. Now, what happened is, like I mentioned in some other videos, you'll be seeing a lot of stuff happened on Veterans Day. I'm gonna incorporate through the week. I'm gonna be doing a couple other videos, just to mix them up a little bit. Um, my friend John and I know him since high school, and then after Dad passed away, he kind of went our separate ways after high school. And after Dad passed away, he kind of reached out to me. He wanted to know if you wanted to start doing stuff and hanging out and stuff. I said, yeah, cool, because we haven't done anything in a while. In the last few years, we've been doing a lot of stuff together. He's a great guy. And we did a lot of stuff on Veterans Day. And one of the last things we did, we saw Hacksaw Ridge at his place, and then we saw Life. And I asked, it got really late. And I went back to home. And before I left, I asked if he wanted to do a review, and he said, well, he's kind of tired, so he turned it down. He said, well, you can do one. And, yeah, okay. And because he actually fell asleep during the last, I didn't even know, last half hour or so of the movie. And so I'm just going to review it. And what happened was, the last 2 months, John was talking about, he had the big DVD collection. He asked, any movie you want to see? And he mentioned the movie Life. He said sci-fi movie. And I actually forgot about it because we saw the trailer a whole bunch of times at the theater. And I thought he was talking about like something from the Sci-Fi Channel, like a cheesy one. And I said, well, we'll probably watch it eventually. And then I was going through the DVD and I saw, like, oh crap, that was the one we saw in the theater. The trailer for it. And the trailer, there's a story behind that too. Let me get into the movie. It revolves around the space station. And the look of the movie is very different, very crystal clear. There were scenes of the movie that I think they wanted it to look like the NASA videos. Back when they had the NASA channel and stuff like that for the shots of the ship and stuff. It's really cool, very unique looking. Going for some realism. And revolves around this probe from Mars, or something from Mars, and this life form that they find. And then, they told us about the daily life of on the ship, and of course Ryan Reynolds is there, and he's there for the comedic relief. And he finds this little amoeba-looking thing, and they find that it's all muscle. It's pretty much an organ. It's all muscle, very strong. And then they have it like in this little thing, and then Ryan Reynolds said, that's some reanimator looking shit right there. And the girl said, could you pick a more less obscure reference? And he said, it's not obscure if you're a nerd. Not obscure for me. I'm a big movie fan. Me and John, we knew exactly what they were talking about. I think a lot of people in the audience will know what they're talking about. They're fans of horror and sci-fi. And later on in the movie, the guy, it has a life, and the guy kind of has a bond to it, that one scientist, and it could touch it, with gloves in this one drawer. And then something happened where there was a breach, and it appeared dead, and he tried to shock it back to life. And then the monster turned on him. And there's a scene where he stuck his hand in there. He has gloves on. It's one of those things with the gloves in the chamber, and the monster's in there. And he could do that safely. Also, there's a scene where the monster grabs onto his hand like that. It scared the shit out of me. Well, it scared the piss out of me there, and it scared the piss out of me in the theater. It happened to me a couple times. Just the way it did it, because it's really good. It's like and at the time, it looked like a banana peel monster. And John laughed his ass off. He looked at me and said, scared the piss out of me in the trailer in the theater, scared the piss out of me again. And he said, it doesn't help that he had the speakers hooked up. What is that? That was a big jump scare. It got me real good. And and they had like now the kills in the movie from the alien are pretty disturbing, especially when he gets loose. The monster finds a way to cut out through those gloves and get out. And they have like a rat in an experiment. He's all tied down. And there's a scene where the alien kills the rat, which is very disturbing. It bothered me. It's a very disturbing scene. That scene's hard to watch. It really bothered me. And I think also the fact that the rat was tied down and couldn't go anywhere. That bothered me. I'm not gonna lie about that. It was disturbing. And there's other scenes with the alien getting into people's mouths and stuff, because they do that a lot in these sci-fi movies. Now after it got loose, it tried to was like a thing where they were trying to kill the monster, and people are saying it's just like an alien ripoff, but it was a very good one. And they even had a thing where they had like a tracking device, and you see like a red line of the alien, you see like the red of the person, but it's like a red skeleton. I really enjoyed the movie. I was on the edge of my seat. Well, I mean, I was for most of the movie, and then I think the last half hour stuff kind of let you off the hook a little bit. And I kind of knew the ending, but I mean, it was very entertaining. I liked the movie. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. And not because it just lets you off the hook at the end, but it's a very effective film. I think you'll like it. But I mean, like I said, the movie is like crystal clear. It's very unique. They shot it in a way that I'd never seen in a movie before. What else was I going to say? I forgot. I was going to say something, but I mean, Ryan Reynolds was like comedic relief. I don't know how well the film did in theaters. It played in theaters for a month or two. I wanted to see it, but I mean, there's so many dang movies out there. I remember us talking about that on the way home. We saw that, they put they had the monster in there, right? And we talked about that night too. And, it said, John was saying, that guy's an idiot. Haven't you seen enough sci-fi movies? If you have an alien, don't mess with it because it'll kill you. And I said what they should have done was they found a life form. And I said, all right, let's not touch it. Let's leave it alone. And then the credits roll. And he said that there was something on YouTube about painting. They were doing I didn't see the video yet. There was like a big setup. It's called What is Art? And they had like a giant 2 or 3 minute setup with all the credits and like people that are going to interview and all this other stuff. And then they asked, what is art? And someone said, yeah, it's paintings and shit. I said, yep, that's what art is. And then they rolled the credits. That's very funny. I do enjoy the movie. I think you will too. If you like science fi, I jumped, like I said, when that thing latched on the guy's hand. But I really enjoyed the film. I think you will too. So, like 9 out of 10 for life. And then John was saying, like, well, let's watch life. He said, there's a movie about the cereal? And I thought that was funny. But the one thing about that is, it was called Calvin. Because they had like an interview with kids, like a Google Hangout type thing with kids were interviewing. They asked the astronauts questions. This is before all the stuff happened. And they said, let's call it Calvin. And they were saying something like Calvin shouldn't be treated like anthrax. John said, anthrax? I said, well, maybe they treat it like Megadeth. That's my humor. I really enjoyed the film. I think you will too. The one thing is, when John mentioned life, I thought about the Sci-Fi Channel, and I don't think the title is very memorable. That's one flaw of the movie. Because, I mean, if it was Life Force, I definitely knew what that was. That was Space Vampires from the Tobe Hooper movie. And even when they showed the credits, they showed the opening title sequence eventually in the movie. It said Life. It looks very similar to Life Force because it was Life spaced out. And I think Life Force came like right after the letters or something like that. But I hope you like this video, everybody. And until next time, please take care, my legion.